Okay, imagine this scenario. You're a new parent with your child, you just finished your last feeding for the night, and you go to lay that child down. You do your whole night routine and pray that it's a smooth transition tonight. But as soon as you set the child down, there comes the waterworks. It's like that for the next hour until you both basically pass out from exhaustion. You think to yourself, there has to be a better way. Well, there is a better way. What if there was a way to help your baby get the much needed rest that they deserve and the much needed rest that you deserve? Um, it's somewhat controversial, but that method's called sleep training. Now, some people may think this is a method called cried out, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Um, and people don't realize that sleep is a learned skill. It's a vital skill. It's something that we all learn at some point, anyways. Through sleep training, you're there every step of the way to give your child confidence and let them know that I'm here, everything's okay, I love you, but it's time to go to sleep. As a new parent myself, I know the fears and tiredness of coming home with a baby from the hospital, especially a baby that was in the NICU. Me and my wife were there for 3 months, and all of our all of our tricks, our quote unquote tricks, stopped working after about 6 months with our son. He just wouldn't go to sleep on his own. So as I headed to his room to sit in the rocking chair all night and sleep with him, which, as any parent will tell you, is hard on the back and the mind, I thought there has to be a better way. All I wanted was my boy to be rested and happy, and sleep training was the reason for that, and for a good reason. First is that poor sleep can impair cognitive and developmental milestones. So, as we all know, there's that fuzzy, hazy feeling when we don't get good rest. It affects us just like it affects babies, but they can't even self regulate like we're supposed to be able to. There's studies that show that physical growth and cognitive development is linked to quality sleep in infants. Um, and unfortunately, babies can't self regulate unless they're taught to do that, so that's what sleep training does. Um, Poor sleep in infants also affects us as parents. I know that there's many nights if your child's up, you're thinking to yourself, "What's wrong? Are they sick? What can I do to help?" Um, and we all just want to be emotionally, physically, and mentally available for our children at the end of the day. Now, some people will tell you that babies are going to hit milestones whether they are sleep trained or not. And yeah, that's true. But why wouldn't you want to give your baby the best tools to thrive and be happy in their life? Which leads me to my next point: that a well rested baby is a happy baby. All right, our son, he was not a terrible baby before, but he is such a happy child. He loves to laugh, he loves to joke around and be silly. And I can tell you that after a 12-night stretch of great rest, there's nothing like walking into his room and getting him up with a big smile on his face. All right, and we all know that overtired babies are they're physically unhappy. We see babies out all the time past their naps, past their sleep time, and they're just physically exhausted. We all know what it looks like. And studies have proven that through self-reporting in these studies, that babies that are well rested are that they have a better temperament and they're more adaptable. So even if they are late for a nap, even if they are late for their bedtime, they're still able to get good rest when they do go down. And who doesn't want a happy baby? I know that everybody wants their child to be happy, so why not give them one less thing to have to worry about so that they can get great rest and be happy during the day? Now, some people will tell you that sleep training is going to cause detached babies that have no real emotional attachment to their caregivers, but this simply isn't true. There is no study out there that proves that there's any links to that, and actually there's studies that prove the opposite is true. That a parent, particularly mothers, that experience sleep fussiness have trouble being emotionally available to their babies for that connection. And so that leads me to my last point: is that a well rested baby leads to a well rested parent. We all want to get good rest, we all want to be there. But unfortunately, sleep problems, sleep fussiness, issues during sleep time can cause issues with parents in the form of depression. There are studies that show that there's a non-insignificant amount, about 7% of mothers that report less bouts with depression with well-rested babies through sleep training. Um, it also leads to poor health in parents. We know from a very early age, we're taught that sleep is regenerative, that when you're sick, you rest. When you're tired, you rest, that you have to rest. It's how your body heals. It's how you process the day. It's how we just deal with life a lot of times. I know that if I'm stressed, sometimes a good nap's all I need just to feel better. And so when my baby's rested and can rest easily, I can be well rested and can rest easily. Which leads me to the last point of this is that there's increased bouts of depression and anger, particularly in fathers, that deal with sleep fussiness. No parent wants to be frustrated or angry with their child. They want to be there. They want to be the best parent that they can be. And so through sleep training, we can get that. Now, the opposition will tell you that it can also be emotionally taxing to hear your baby cry. And that's true. I can tell you that the first night that we tried it, me and my wife both went to my son's room. We laid on the floor, and we both just cried. But even though we knew he was there, even though that we knew that everything was fine, we still didn't like to hear him cry. But we were still there every step of the way saying, it's okay. We're here. You can do this. It's time to go to sleep. At the end of the day, you're the adult, and you have to make the hard decisions for your child. And that's all that we can do. We are the parents. We have to make the tough decisions. We have to do what's best for us, our families, our children, to make sure that they can be happy, make sure they can be healthy, and make sure that they see the best versions of us. That we have to model a functioning adult as much as we can be. Let me ask you a question. If you saw a child that was running with a knife and you reacted quickly and took the knife, what are they going to do? Any parent will tell you that they're going to cry. And in response, are you just going to give the knife back to that child? No, why? Because we know that there's greater danger in them having the knife than them crying. And that's part of being a parent. You're the adult that has to make the tough decisions for what's best for your child. And I think that sleep training, while it's a tough decision, while there's times it's bumpy, it's been wonderful for me and my family. And there are studies that back that up. So I just wanted to say for all future expectant and potential parents in the future, just to give sleep training a try. It's worth it. My name is Daniel Worley, and thank you for being attentive.